Hey guys, okay, so I was challenged to do the Christian head covering tag. And I have my little paper with the questions on it. I will put the questions down below so that if any of you want to do this, or if you just want to answer the questions in the comments, go for it. We'll see how this goes. First question, super easy. How old are you? I am 32 years old. I will be 33 next month. I'm just a baby. For how long have you been covering? I started covering about 11 months ago. And it's been a journey, let me tell you. How do you cover? Okay, this has kind of changed. When I first started covering my head, I would just wear a scarf tied with a bow and you could still see my hair. Now, as you guys know, I cover my whole head. I cover all of my hair. And then it asks other parts of your body that you keep covered. I would say 90% of my body is always covered. Yeah. I'll wear t-shirts so you can see, you know, my arm. I don't always cover all the way to my elbows. We live in the desert, it gets kind of hot and uncomfortable. But I don't wear shorts. If I wear a skirt that hits my knees, I always have leggings on underneath to cover my legs. I don't show a lot of, you know. Do you try to dissimulate the shape of your body? Yes, I do. I do not wear super tight form-fitting clothing. I think that's what it's asking. I kind of keep it, I just always say that I keep it respectful. I do not walk out the front door of my house expecting people to be like, ooh, look at her booty. Or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't do that. Do you keep any other modesty standards? I tend to wear skirts. I don't wear a whole lot of pants. Like I said, you know, I wear things looser. I don't show cleavage. I don't show my belly. None of that. So I think that's what it's asking. Why do you cover? Do you cover for the same reason now as you did in the beginning? I cover because Abba calls me to. He wanted me to, this was an act of extreme obedience for me. I think he's been calling me to it for a long time, but doing this in obedience also started me on an extreme modesty journey, and things have changed and shifted as I've gone along. So as my head covering changed, so did my clothing. In front of whom do you stay covered? Are there exceptions? Everybody. If I go out my front door, my head is covered. A lot of times, like I guarantee today, I have a headband on with this wrap and it's squeezing in all the wrong places. So I'm kind of starting to get a headache. So when I'm at home and it's just my husband and my kids, I will take my wrap off. But if I am outside of my house or anybody comes into our house, my head is covered. I do not let anybody, well, I take that back. My mother, she was here and I didn't cover in front of my mom. And I think if my dad were to come here, I wouldn't cover in front of my dad. And then obviously, like if I go to the doctor and they're like, oh, I need to check your head because I have lupus that affects my skin. So they'll check my scalp every once in a while. So obviously if my doctor's like, you have to take your wrap off, you know. So those are the exceptions. What was the reaction of your husband, other family members, and of persons you meet? Before I even started covering, I talked to my husband about it. Me and him talk about everything. Any change that's going to happen in our household, we talk about it before it even happens, if we can. So I went out and I was like, you're gonna think I'm crazy. And he was like, what? And I was like, you know, I think I should be covering my head. And he was like, okay, whatever you want to do. If that's what you think God is telling you to do, then I'm right along with you. And then, you know, I explained like why I felt like I needed to be doing that, and he was like, that's beautiful. Go for it. My kids were kind of like, I don't get it, especially because when I first covered, one of my kids was on a school trip because we didn't homeschool yet. So one of my kids was on a school trip and they were gone for I think almost a week. And he came home and he was like, what's on your head? So I explained it to him and he was like, oh, okay, whatever. And now it's become pretty normal. Other family members, I think my extended family, it's been more confusion. They don't get it. No matter how much I try to explain it to them, they don't get it. They're just kind of like, whatever. That's what Aaron's doing right now. So, more power to you. People I meet, it's always mixed reactions. I've been called a terrorist. I've been told to go back to where I came from. I've been asked how long I've been on chemo. I've been asked what kind of cancer I have. And then I'm told that I am wearing a beautiful scarf. So I think it really depends on that person and what they've been exposed to in the past and what their experience with this is. I think that really dictates how people react to it. How did covering change your life? And then in parentheses it says prayer, self-esteem, testifying. I have become very bold in my obedience. My communication with Abba and my husband and my prayer life and, you know, working as leadership in our church, I've become more bold. I think that's the biggest, and I think a lot of that stems from this is my reminder of who loves me and who's there to support me and who injects my life with strength. So I guess that's what they're asking. I've become bold. And then the last question, it says, what is your denomination? I think I talked about this in another video. The one, I think it's I am not a Christian. I do not like labels. I am the daughter of Abba. I am a follower of Yeshua. And that's it. I don't like labels. If you put labels on things, I was raised Pentecostal. On my dad's side, my mom was Methodist. We went to a Methodist church for a while when I was in high school. My husband's family is Lutheran. And then now I am I guess if you want to put a label on it, I am a Torah observant Christian. If that's a denomination. So these are the questions. If you guys want to do this, even just in the comments, or you want to make your own video, I will have the questions down in the description box for you to access. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you all very soon. Have a blessed day. Bye.
Because when I first started covering my hair, I just wore a skirt covering my head, not my hair. Head covering Christian tag, or head covering Christian tag. I always say that because that's my Instagram handle. It's the Christian head covering